With us now from Washington, D.C. is Republican Congressman John Mica of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. Nice to see you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Good to be with you.
I know you've had a chance to read this article.
I haven't had a chance to read the article.
Oh, well, forgive me. Well,
sometimes I try not to read too much fiction or novels.
Well, we'll see how much fiction it is. She is standing certainly by her story. I know you had a chance to listen to the interview that we just did. She says that there are 5 people in the ATF who are involved in this, in what was happening in Phoenix, who say there was no policy of gun walking. It did not happen.
Well, first of all, you just showed a clip of the Attorney General saying that gun walking happened. Quite frankly, I'm a member of the investigative committee, one of the senior members of the panel. I don't take our investigative facts and information from a magazine or some article. All we're interested in and all we're responsible for doing is finding out who did what, getting the pertinent documents. This is an investigative arm of the House of Representatives. There is no reason why we should be denied the documents to get to the truth of this. We're not, this isn't some, we're going to make up fantasy stories or take parts of information from some writer. This is a serious investigation.
Let's go back to what the writer is saying. Let's go back to what the writer is saying, where she's saying, this is not her opinion. She's saying there are 5 people who were
I don't care if they're 5. I don't care if they're 10 or 20.
Who are first of all, who say it didn't happen. You don't care about what they're saying?
We want all the information. If their testimony is pertinent, we'll bring them in. What we're asking for are the documents that are in possession of the government, and in this case, of the Department of Justice or any of its personnel that relate to this. We know that there are more than 100,000 documents. We've received about 7,000 or 8,000. That's about 7 or 8%, okay? Why? I mean, this is almost a joke to say that we should rely on some article in some magazine as opposed to.
I don't think she considers it a joke at all, sir.
I do because I think this is making a farce out of the investigative process. Under the Constitution, under the laws of the United States, under our
she is reporting,
authority.
She's reporting.
I don't care what she. I really don't care what she's reporting.
So let me ask you another question.
She has nothing to do with our committee or our responsibilities under the Constitution and laws.
The committee.
I want the information as a member of this committee, and if it's not turned over by tomorrow, we will hold in contempt the House of Representatives, Eric Holder, the Attorney General of the United States. That's closed, open
So
case.
She's saying she has spoken to people at the ATF who said gun walking did not happen. She has. Let me finish
well,
my
you
question.
just showed me a tape where the Attorney General testified to us.
Sir, if I may. Thank you. I appreciate that. Her article says that there was no gun walking. What evidence do you have that, in fact, there was gun walking?
Well,
what's your evidence?
Maybe I was watching a different program. I just saw Eric Holder on your television screen say that there was gun walking.
What evidence do you have from the ATF that there was gun walking?
Well, just the Attorney General. I guess we couldn't believe him, but we don't know what to believe. That's the whole point here. And we should be entitled, an investigative arm of the House of Representatives. This agency used taxpayer monies. It's authorized by the Congress of the United States. And you're telling me I have to rely on some novelist or some writer or some information that is...
I'm telling you what the writer is raising here are some very interesting things. Let me read you a little bit from her article. Let me
want to raise even more questions.
I don't want to read to you a little bit from her article.
All I want are the facts. This is just like the old movie Friday.
I'm just trying to give you something from her article. Let me read to you some from her article. She says, she mentions a guy who was on food stamps, yet had plunked down $300,000 for 476 firearms over 6 months. The supervisor, his name is Dave Voth, asked the ATF if they could arrest him, and he was told that they could not. He could not be arrested because under the law in the state of Arizona, you can buy massive numbers of guns. Right? That is correct. So her argument is that there was no gun walking, that in fact it was prosecutors. Let me finish my sentence. It was prosecutors, it was weak laws that in fact were the reason that those guns were able to get across the border.
Well, first of all, on February 4th, 2011, the Department of Justice sent us a letter that said they didn't know anything about what was going on. There was nothing. We actually know from an email in March that they knew and they chose to cover it up for another 10 months. Then they finally admitted that something was going on. And just a few minutes ago, you played a tape, unless you doctored the tape. That was the Attorney General of the United States saying that he thought there was gun walking going on. Now, you're trying to tell me that a committee of Congress charged with specific jurisdiction for investigation over all of these agencies, including the Department of Justice, should just turn a blind eye when an agent is killed and others are murdered, and we're using taxpayers' hard-earned dollars to buy weapons and give them over to drug dealers that killed our agents.
Let's talk about that date you just mentioned, February 4th, 2011. Yes. That's a date you mentioned. Justice Department sends a letter to Senator Grassley. Grassley seems to come back with proof that the ATF had, in fact, walked guns. But he's talking, actually, about a different case. That there was a different case, and that case, according to this reporter's case, Agent John Dotson, who is the whistleblower in this, did walk guns. Is it true or not that the whistleblower in this case did walk guns in a totally different case? Is that true or not?
Again, this isn't a rocket science. This is not complicated. We have an agency of the United States government. This is the prosecutorial arm. This is the Department of Justice buying weapons, we believe, because we don't know, because we don't have the facts, and they won't give us the information. I mean, this is so indefensible.
But that's a yes or no question, sir. If it's if it's not Fast and Furious, and the guy, you're investigating it. This reporter's been doing it for 6 months.
How do we even separate the facts when you don't have the information and they try to keep the evidence from you?
This reporter has been investigating it for 6 months, and you would be the...
I don't give a hill of beans about that reporter.
And you've been investigating it as well.
We have investigative staff who are charged by law, and this committee under the Constitution of the United States has a responsibility. Taxpayers' money in an agency which we fund from the government. They bought weapons, we believe, and we think they would. I don't know who did what.
We're just trying to find out. Done by the guy who's the whistleblower to you. That's what she says.
Well, she can say whatever she wants. She doesn't work for the committee. She wasn't elected to Congress, and she isn't charged with investigating this under the laws and Constitution of the United States. So she's probably a very nice lady, but that's not her responsibility. Our responsibility is to represent the citizens who are paying for this whole fiasco and seeing an agent killed. You know, we have to respond to the Terry family who came to our committee, and all I asked for was justice and a thorough investigation of the death of their loved one.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. You know,